Hello beautiful people, Carl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's horror movie review time. Okay, where were we? Of course, this franchise has no continuity, at least outside of the first two films and a weird later one. The only thing that links them is the name and the occasional bit of werewolf action, yet somehow it continues to be a mostly entertaining franchise to experience with some generally creative ideas here and there. Bad films, for the most part. But overall, outside of the original Nightmare and one at the end, memorably bad films. Which brings us to Howling V, The Rebirth, a werewolf film with almost no werewolf action in it. Yet it still manages to be a thoroughly entertaining watch with a great gothic location, watchable characters with some unique acting to say the least, and a surprisingly compelling whodunit story. Yes, Howling V, The Rebirth is one of the better entries in the series. Provided, and this is so important, you can overlook the lack of werewolfery.
It was such a great scene.
Yes, but you know I was supposed to die in it.
Really?
But I said to our director, no one gets killed on page 68 who wins an Oscar.
I didn't realize you won an Oscar for that role.
But I should have. And you are a rock star.
What was the operative word?
Really? I never heard of it.
I was probably a bit after your time.
There was absolutely nothing that could be
I
done.
didn't know that.
Because when they broke into the castle, they were all dead.
You're trying to tell us everyone was dead.
Yes. 3 generations of family, even servants. No one was spared.
Directed by Neil Sundstrom, from a screenplay by Freddie Rao and Clive Turner. The film stars Philip Davis, Victoria Catlin, Elizabeth Shee, Ben Cole, and William Shockley. The story, strap in, surrounds an ancient castle in Budapest that is about to open its doors to the public for the first time in 500 years. Not since the family that owned it were massacred, of course. A story that has biblical connections and suggests the devil might have been a werewolf. This franchise is. What are you even talking about here? Anyway, so how do you celebrate such a reopening? You invite a select group of people, seemingly randomly chosen. Spoilers, it's not actually random. And they're going to spend a weekend there. The castle, gloriously gothic and begging to be explored, even though a blizzard is raging outside. It is warm and inviting, even if the host, the Count, I know, is a little strange. He's the least of anyone's worries though. As it turns out, they're not alone here. Someone else outside of the group is in the castle. And one by one, I guess, are being picked off, often with their throat having been slashed. Of course, werewolves aren't real, so just who is to blame? It is all about the whodunit, and the film does do a great job of keeping you guessing right up to the final reveal, which happens right, hilariously, as the credits begin to roll. That's how late this comes. Does it make much sense? Probably not, but you must applaud a film that manages to keep its antagonist hidden for so long. Oh, you could probably guess a lot of it, but you still won't really be able to piece it all together. Even without the fun reveal, though, the mystery is compelling. Even if the bulk of the film isn't necessarily that. All because characters have what defines them, and that is where it ends. It just so happens, though, that what defines them is often entertaining. Considering the sizable cast, it's quite something when you realise that you kind of know everyone, and in the case of a few, kind of warmed to their odd behaviours. So much so that it's easy to forget that this is actually a werewolf film, which obviously is a problem. It is the 5th Howling film, and not enough time is given to Howling-related stuff. The mystery could have still worked with a bit more werewolf-based action, and what we do see in flashes is hardly notable. This also means, of course, we get very little in the way of blood, and while the body count is significantly high, the majority are done off-screen. After all, we have to keep the viewer wondering not only if there is a killer, but if it's a werewolf, and if it actually exists within the castle.
Oh, God.
But do you see the problem with that? This is Howling 5, The Rebirth. Still, while all of this is worthy of complaint and may be too much for many to get over, I thought the film was very entertaining regardless. It's up there as one of the better entries in the franchise, and to achieve that, it had to pretty much abandon the thing it's actually based on, the werewolf. So, yeah, this is definitely not going to be for everybody, but personally, at this stage of the franchise's life, I was entertained. I liked how it looked, I liked how it sounded, I liked the cast, I liked the story, I liked the mystery, and I liked what it offered overall. It's not a great film, it's no classic, and it's certainly not even the best in this franchise, but compared to what we've just got recently, the previous film, the original Nightmare, this is thoroughly enjoyable. I do reckon you should check it out. And the thing is, you can kind of watch it as a standalone as well. You don't need to have been paid attention or been invested or seen any of the other entries in the franchise to enjoy this movie. It is Howling 5, The Rebirth. You got any thoughts on this you want to share? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.